Welcome to StopFake, where we set the record straight on disinformation about Ukraine. I'm Fulbright U.S. scholar Cheryl Reed with StopFake's latest dissection of Russian media manipulation. This week, we debunk the following fake stories. Russia claims German Chancellor Angela Merkel wants to end Russian sanctions. Russia media claims Ukraine's credit rating is falling. There is also a report of fake plague outbreak at military hospitals and bizarre claims of organ trafficking. So let's get started. After meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Sochi on May 2nd, German Chancellor Angela Merkel advocated ending Russian sanctions, Russia media reported this week. Ukraina.ru, Strana.ua, and Gosnovosti twisted Merkel's actual statement and quoted her out of context. What Merkel actually said was that sanctions against Russia can be lifted only when the reasons for which they were imposed, the annexation of Crimea, are eliminated. Merkel rejected the need for a new agreement aimed at stopping the separatist war in eastern Ukraine and reiterated that the Minsk agreement contains everything necessary for a ceasefire and a political solution to the conflict. It is my urgent request to the Russian president to do everything possible to ensure the implementation of the Minsk agreement, Merkel said. Russian Defense Ministry TV channel Zvezda and scores of other Russian media completely distorted the latest economic predictions for Ukraine by Fitch, the influential international credit rating agency. Newsfront, Pravda.ru, and Ekonomika Sevodnya declared, Ukraine's rating is brought down. Sorrowful rating for Ukraine. Growth prognosis lowered to 2% because of the occupied territory's economic blockage. So they declared, completely ignoring the facts presented by Fitch in its outlook for Ukraine, giving the country a B- and affirming a stable outlook. Ukraine's 2016 GDP growth of 2.3% surpassed expectations, but the blockade will negatively impact the mining, metallurgical, and electricity sectors. Fitch's forecast growth to decelerate to 2% in 2017 before picking up to 3% in 2018 on the back of improving consumer demand and investment. Earlier dire Russian predictions for Ukraine's credit rating and economy have been proved wrong by Fitch, who upgraded Ukraine in November 2016 and revised upward growth and its predictions for GDP growth. The self-declared Donetsk People's Republic claims a plague has broken out among Ukraine's military in the southeastern port of Mariupol. During his recent briefing, DNR Representative Edward Basurin announced that Mariupol hospitals are filled to capacity with soldiers suffering from tularemia. This infection is quickly becoming an epidemic, and several Marines have already died from this light form of the plague, Basurin said. This compelling fake was given pride of place by the usual Russian propaganda suspects, REN TV, Komsomolskaya Pravda, Life.ru, the Defense Ministry's Zvezda TV channel, Channel 5, and others. Tularemia is most certainly not a light form of the plague, as Basurin claims. Rather, it is both an animal and human disease common among deer and rabbits, characterized by high fever and dehydration. Humans can become infected mainly through tick bites. Serhiy Zhemerko, press officer for the Mariupol military region, dismissed Basurin's claim as a complete fake. Ukraine's health ministry says that Ukraine's southern regions are not experiencing any unusual infectious outbreaks. Meanwhile, social media posts paint a somewhat different picture from the one Basurin described. There were a lot of Marines in the city today, writes a local resident, and they all looked very healthy. Tularemia outbreaks occur periodically in Europe and Asia. In 2013, more than 600 people were infected in Russia's Khanty-Mansi in western Siberia. Edward Basurin has generated some of the most outrageous fakes. That Ukrainian soldiers are dying from a mysterious virus, that Ukraine was shelling OSCE monitors and selling chemical weapons to the Middle East, and much more. For a complete list of Basurin's debunked fakes, visit our website. Rusnik's, followed by Narodny Correspondent and scores of other marginal internet publications, published a story this week claiming that French customs officers at Paris-Orly airport confiscated a shipment of human organs from Ukraine. The story claims that the alleged organs, seemingly worth 4 million euros, were sent from Dnipro military hospital and headed for Saudi Arabia. They were intercepted in France thanks to a carefully planned operation by the French police and customs officers at Orly Airport. No, we are not making this up. There is no mention of the sensational coup on any official French police site. The French customs are absolutely silent. Dnipro Military Hospital Deputy Director Victor Pasanko told StopFake that his hospital has never sent any human organs anywhere and called the entire matter ridiculous. Even more outrageous is the claim that these human organs included nasal septums and sphincters. Can you imagine? By the way, nasal septums and sphincters are not organs used for human transplants. We checked. According to Russian media, the company that supposedly received these septums and sphincters from Ukraine is a Cayman Islands registered company called Labine. We did not find such a company in the Caymans, despite many different searches. Companies with the same name were once registered in Moscow and Perm, but they are no longer active. StopFake has written to the French police, customs, and Orly airport authorities inquiring about this story, but we have not received a response. And then there's this detail. According to the Russian satirical site Lurkmore, in the 1990s, the name Labine was used for fake companies set up for the very brief period for the purpose of tax evasion and money laundering. That's it for this week. You can get more information about these stories and more on our website. Give us a click. Be vigilant, beware of fakes. If you spot any disinformation about Ukraine, send it to us for a truth autopsy. Remember, consuming fake news is bad for your health, your brain, and the psychological climate of the society. So don't do it. I'm Cheryl Reed, and this is StopFake. Thanks for watching.